No risk, no growth. If you stop and really think about it, almost everything that blocks life comes from the same place. Fear disguised as caution. We're taught early on to seek safety, stability, and approval. But almost no one teaches us that, more often than not, this comes at a high cost. A cost paid in purpose, identity, and freedom. The result? People who stay busy but disconnected from their own destiny. The uncomfortable truth is this: there is no growth without risk. There is no transformation without choice. And there is no legacy without courage and action. Avoiding failure may look smart on the surface, but it often steals learning, authenticity, and the chance to live something truly meaningful. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about here. How to take responsibility for your own life and move forward, even when the path feels intimidating. Risk as a condition of life and progress. Nothing valuable happens without risk, and that applies to real life, not just pretty quotes from books. The act of living already carries fear, choice, and responsibility within it, because staying still is also a decision, just one disguised as safety. Avoiding risk doesn't protect your destiny. It only delays your transformation and weakens your legacy. When you understand that progress demands courage, something shifts inside you, almost like an identity exchange. Growth is born from discomfort, from conscious sacrifice, and from the daily discipline of acting without guarantees. That's where learning is created. That's where reinvention begins. And that's where the kind of freedom emerges that only exists when you choose to live with purpose and authenticity. The biggest regret is not trying. Failure hurts, but it usually fades. Regret, on the other hand, becomes a quiet echo that follows you for a lifetime. When you avoid action out of fear, it may feel prudent in the short term, but later it charges a heavy price in identity and in your sense of purpose. Deep down, the greatest loss isn't falling. It's never allowing yourself to try. Think about the stories you admire most. Every single one involves risk, courage, and at least one uncomfortable choice. Reading biographies like The Everything Store by Jeff Bezos or Long Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela makes one thing clear: growth comes from trying, not from perfection. Each attempt generates learning, strengthens belief in yourself, and opens space for the transformation that prepares the next step. Fear versus purpose. Fear is efficient, but it isn't wise. It's programmed to keep you safe, not to guide you toward your destiny or your best version. Purpose speaks more quietly, but it points directly toward growth, asking for courage even when your mind says pull back. In practice, this means learning to decide, with your soul in the driver's seat and your brain as the co-pilot. Hey, race a simple exercise. Write 2 lists, one with what you would do if you weren't afraid, and another with what you've been postponing for months. That clarity activates responsibility, strengthens faith in yourself, and turns discomfort into conscious action, setting the stage for your next choice. Youth and timing. The early stages of life are fertile ground for risk, mistakes, and reinvention. That's when the cost of failure is lower and learning happens faster, even though fear tries to convince you to play small. Traveling, testing careers, learning new skills, and changing your mind isn't confusion. It's identity under construction. If you're in this phase, use time to your advantage. Read Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kleon. Learn something practical like programming or public speaking. Expose yourself to new experiences every single week. Each courageous choice strengthens purpose and builds a repertoire that no early comfort can ever replace. This movement prepares your spirit for the bigger decisions that lie ahead. Personal reinvention. There comes a point when growth demands breaking away from expectations that aren't yours. Reinvention begins when you question patterns, face discomfort, and take the risk of disappointing those who prefer your old version. This isn't rebellion. It's authenticity in action, aligning identity with purpose. In practice, reinvent yourself gradually. Change habits, revisit goals, eliminate commitments that drain your energy. A powerful starting point is this question. What would I do if no one had an opinion? Simple, but deeply liberating. Decisions like this strengthen responsibility, stimulate growth, and prepare you to trust yourself more. In the next step, faith in yourself. Faith in yourself isn't born fully formed. It's built through repeated action, even when results haven't shown up yet. Each small, silent victory reinforces the belief that you can handle risk, fear, and failure without losing your identity. A simple practice: keep small promises you make to yourself. Wake up on time. Train for 20 minutes. Read 10 pages of Think and Grow Rich. This daily commitment builds discipline, strengthens purpose, and emotionally prepares you for bigger decisions that will require even more courage. Personal responsibility. There comes a moment when blaming circumstances, other people, or the past no longer makes sense. Life changes when you take full responsibility for your choices, including the ones that went wrong. This is an act of courage because it removes the comfort of excuses and places you at the center of your own transformation. In practice, it starts with more honest questions. What can I do right now? What decision is within my reach today? Writing these answers down helps organize your mind and reduces the fear of action. When you take control, even in difficult scenarios, you strengthen faith in yourself and create momentum for the next level of growth. Growth through difficulty. Real growth rarely happens on easy days. It emerges when discomfort tightens, risk shows up, and the desire to quit tests your commitment. In those moments, who you become in the process matters more than any visible result. A practical way to extract learning from difficulty is to record challenges and lessons every week. It can be in a notebook or a notes app. What matters is reflection. This habit strengthens discipline, reframes failure, and builds a more resilient identity. Ready for the comfort zone equals stagnation. The comfort zone is deceptive because it feels harmless. It reduces immediate fear, but charges high interest over time, stealing growth, purpose, and the sense of a life in motion. There is no neutrality. You either move forward with action and courage, or you slowly move backward without noticing. Leaving this place starts with daily micro-challenges. Saying what you usually avoid, trying something new at work, changing a rigid routine. These small risks activate discipline and reignite faith in yourself. Gradually, discomfort stops being the enemy and becomes a signal of evolution, preparing the ground for falls, lessons, and bigger flights. Failure as part of the path. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process of any life lived with purpose. Falling, making mistakes, and recalculating the route are part of the transformation of those who choose courage over hiding in comfort. The real risk isn't failing. It's never having tried to fly. In practice, treat failure like a demanding teacher, not a cruel judge. After each mistake, ask, what did this teach me? How can I adjust my next decision? This posture strengthens learning, preserves your identity, and keeps alive the faith needed to keep moving forward. The courage to look foolish. Few people talk about this, but almost every great transformation begins with someone looking a little lost, exaggerated, or even ridiculous. The courage to look foolish is a silent price you pay when you choose action over approval. Those who avoid this risk protect their ego, but sacrifice growth. In practice, this means accepting criticism, laughter, and awkward looks without abandoning your purpose. Publishing content, starting a new project, or learning something from zero requires this dose of discomfort. When you sustain this phase with discipline and faith, you strengthen authenticity and open space for the next leap. Now let me ask you honestly, where are you avoiding risk? Even though you know growth lives there, what decision have you been postponing out of fear? Even though it could redefine your identity, your purpose, and even your destiny? Life doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for action, courage, and responsibility to move forward without having all the answers. Maybe the next step will demand sacrifice, discipline, and acceptance of some failure along the way. but it may also bring learning, freedom, and real transformation. In the end, what remains is the legacy of those who chose to live with authenticity, not just exist. So, what's your choice today? If this content resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so we can continue this growth journey together. This is just the beginning.